Indicators here. All right, we got some boring markets going on today. Sheesh. Could have taken this beautiful buy signal right here, taken it up into this zone drawn by the Maverick zones. Auto draws your support and resistance levels and gives you a scoring as you come into it. I have some major and minor zones. I think I have both of them checked. Let me see here. Oh, I just have minor zones. So major zones are on top of the minor zones. So let's do that. And we have a B set up to the downside. We're finally breaking down. Let me see here. I might want to, let me turn off that major zone. Let me see. We got red candles coming down. And it's finally pumping down. Why don't we take a couple testers here? Actually, I want to wait. You guys know I sit on my hands the first minute and the last minute of a 5-minute candle. What does your orb look like? If you were going to trade the opening range breakout, let's go 15 minutes. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now we're breaking back into the first 15 minutes. I might test the break of this zone here. You only have a 67% score. So let's do it. What do you think? Let's do it. All right, so, and we're breaking this zone, so that means we got a high probability of getting to the next zone. First minute and last minute of a 5-minute candle. I sit on my hands. We're coming into that down here. See right here? First minute and last minute of a 5-minute candle. This is pretty, you have a B set up to the downside on your Maverick radar. You have, oh yeah. It took too long. I should have gotten in that thing. All right. I'm actually getting into 2. Beautiful. Let me get out of my drawing tool. All right, so let's give this a second here. So we got an A+ setup on the Ultimate Trading Assistant, the Maverick Radar. All 5 traders are voting bearish across 6 time frames. Think of T1 through T5 as traders. They're algorithms, but think of them as traders, and they all have a completely different style. Completely different style. So how powerful is it when all 5 traders are voting bearish across 6 time frames? Really, really powerful. The Maverick zones is, let me get rid of this orb. Sorry, guys. Let me get rid of this orb. Maverick zones is auto-drawing all your support and resistance zones and then giving you this score as you come up to the zone. So right now we got a 68% chance of holding. Anything under 90% is fair game. Okay, fair game. All right. You got an 82% up here, 67% down here. These are all auto drawn by your support and by the Maverick zones. Hot pink candles. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. Okay. Pink is your strongest downside data candle. Bright green is your strongest upside data candle, and you had a beautiful buy signal right here, way back here. Okay, so now we just watch this thing. You got an A+ setup. The Ultimate Trading Assistant is going through your entire checklist to make sure you truly have an A+ setup. And we're just screaming down here on 10 micros. Micros, let's go. Should probably put in a stop, huh? All right, so we got a pretty weak score here, 47%. 47% and 58% on these zones. So 54% chance of holding, 55% chance of holding. So we got our stop in. Seems like the connection's back now. Sorry about that. So still an A+ setup from the Ultimate Trading Assistant that's going through our entire checklist to make sure, do we even have a setup? And if we do have a setup, what kind of setup do we have? What kind of setup do we have? And this is an A+ setup to the downside. A+ setup to the downside. All 5 traders who have a completely different style across 6 time frames are voting bearish right here. Bearish across 6 time frames. Hot pink candles. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. Pink is your strongest downside data candle. Imagine not just having red and green candles. Imagine being able to see underneath the hood as far as your candle color. And pretty cool stuff here. Pretty cool stuff. This looks like quite the zone. Let me turn off my minor zones. Hang on one second, guys. Let me just go to major zones. Let's see. Oh, we got some room. We got some room. Let's go. Your next zone is all the way down here. Your next zone is all the way down here. And you have hot pink candles. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. All 5 traders are voting bearish across 6 time frames. And you have an A+ setup. Whoops. And you have an A+ setup to the downside on the Ultimate Trading Assistant, the Maverick Radar. How cool is that? So we could close it out for 500 bucks. Nice, easy trade on this funded account. Not copy trading, so I'm just doing this one account. Or we could shoot to, we don't have to get greedy. We don't go all the way down to this next zone, which has an 84% chance of holding, by the way. This is a very strong zone right here. But what I do like is you're starting to get a sell signal here on the Maverick signals. You're at the first minute of the new 5-minute turn. So we got to see how this plays out. But a nice place to target would be somewhere around here. And why do I say that? Because it's almost about halfway between these zones. Okay? And this is a zone-to-zone game, if you will. And this is where these guys got hung up last time. Okay? They came down, they almost touched this zone, and then they headed back up. So this is a zone-to-zone game. You have hot pink candles. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. You have a sell signal right here. Okay? All 5 traders are still voting bearish across 6 time frames. Imagine if I could put you in a room with 5 other traders. These are algorithms, but if I could put you in the room with 5 other traders and they're all voting tick by tick if they're bearish or if they're bullish. Okay? Now, you have 2 Maverick zones, by the way, just came out last Friday. It's a TradingView exclusive. All our indicators work on NinjaTrader and TradingView, except for the Maverick zones. Okay? So now you're coming out of that 1 minute of the first minute of the new 5-minute candle. Okay? First minute of the new 5-minute candle. So now we watch this thing. You're getting some retracement, but we still have a hot pink candle. We still have hot pink candles, which tells me that there's rich data to the downside. So while everybody's boogieing out of this candle, because this would be quite the green candle here, and it's retracing back up, I'm going to hang in this thing because we broke this zone by a good, decent amount. We really broke this zone by a good, decent amount. I'm going to, as long as we stay hot pink right here, we have a sell signal, and I want to target this next zone. We're back to our A+ setup on the Ultimate Trading Assistant, the Maverick Radar. Okay, A+ setup. All 5 traders are still pretty bearish on 6 time frames. Okay, so pretty interesting stuff here. But while the whole world is getting out on this retracement, what do you have? You have edge. You are looking underneath the hood to a data formula that we are running to see what's actually underneath the hood. More buying, more selling, the whole 9. It's a pretty complex formula. You don't even need to know how the formula works. It's like using a a light switch, if you will. You know, I am not an electrician. I'm just not an electrician. But I know I can walk into a room and turn on the light. Okay. So let me just delete this real quick. Now, a lot of you might be saying, hey, why didn't you just close it out when you were down here? You're up like $600. I could have. That's up to you. You could have closed it out. I was, and I am, going to the next level. That's my interest. That's my style. I like large gains and small losses. Large gains and small losses. But that's just my style. Some of you guys, $500 in 6 minutes. Heck yeah, let's go. Nothing wrong with taking profit. Nothing wrong with taking profit. Now you're retracing, but look, and you just lost it for a second. Oh, you're coming into the last minute of the 5-minute turn. First minute and last minute of a 5-minute turn, I sit on my hands. So what does that mean? Right now it's 11:29. So from 11:29 till about 11:31, I try and sit on my hands. Because this last minute, the market maker, but this is just my theory. Market makers like to do total misdirection for you to think what's going to happen with the next candle when it opens. And then here, this is where the next candle opens, and I believe there's a ton of misdirection. I just do. Okay? So that's just been my experience. It's my theory. I have no proof that there's some market maker doing that every single turn of a 5-minute candle. What I do have is the experience of watching the candle have massive misdirection the first minute and the last minute of a 5-minute turn. Now, even if you're trading 1-minute candles, I just feel like I see that. You know, it's just, it is what it is. First minute and last minute of a 5-minute turn. Feels like there's massive misdirection. So now here's what we're going to find out. What was once support, we broke through it. Will it now be resistance? Once support, it was support up here, was once support, you broke it, now it tries to come back up, and will it now be resistance and push off? Don't know. Let's find out. Man, my internet connection is wacky today. I keep losing connection to this monitor, which is why we put our stop loss in. How cool is it that we no longer have to draw our support and resistance zones? Because now we just let the Maverick zones do it. So cool. So cool. So look, guys, we were having massive retracement. What did we have? We still had an A+ setup for a lot of that to the downside. All 5 traders have been bearish most of this whole retracement. Okay, you have a sell signal here. Hot pink candles. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. We know where our next zone is. We know where our zone was that we just blew through. And these aren't just drawn. Look, these are auto-drawn, but they're auto-drawn by a formula we came up with to figure out probability. Probability. So like right here, a lot of people would draw a zone right here. This is where a zone would be, right? For a lot of people. But the formula is saying, nah, that's not your highest probability zone. Your highest probability zone is actually down here. It's very, very interesting. Let that do the hard work. I don't know why people want to do things like manually and stuff. Let the computer do the hard work. Then you can just focus on trading, right? I like just focusing on trading. Same thing why I like the Maverick Multi-X. 5 traders. These are algorithms with 5 traders across 6 time frames. Some people think it's really cool to and that's fine if that's your style. Have 6 charts on their screen, and they got, oh, I got 9 monitors, and I got 9 different time frames and all that stuff. I can't do that. I can't read all that at once. So why not let the Maverick Multi-X look at those 6 time frames so you can actually add a 7th time frame. All 5 traders who have a completely different style, let them, their algorithms, but let them cast their vote every single tick of movement. Look at this, guys. Look at what was once support is now what? Resistance. Came down, broke, tried to come back up, and now we're pushing down to the next zone that you can clearly see with the Maverick zones. This is beautiful. No, I want to do that. There we go. All right, I'm just going to leave my screen up because we're just at a standstill here. Price is just being like moving like a snail. So I will just leave my screen up here and we will just watch this action right here. And then I'll come back onto the mic when we actually start moving. All right, so here we are. Didn't take that long. I actually didn't have to step away from the charts much longer. Down confidence arrow. You are on a downtrend. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. What I'd say, price moves away from the higher score. 86.72. 86.72. Okay. So got an A+ setup on your ultimate trading assistant, the Maverick Radar. All 5 traders have continued to be bearish across 6 time frames. Downtrend label. Look, your Maverick trender has been pegged all the way since here. All the way since here, your Maverick trender has been pegged to the top, telling you, hey, this is a scalper's dream, by the way. Maverick trender, check it out. When prices, the line is to the top here, hold on one second. When price is pegged to the top here, it can't go any further. That's signaling massive strength and momentum to the downside if it's red, to the upside if it's green. And Maverick trender is very, very cool. You'll always see the Maverick trender on my chart. You'll always see the Maverick signals that comes in the Ultimate Edge bundle. You will always see the Maverick Radar on my chart, the Ultimate Trading Assistant, going through our entire checklist to see what kind of setup we have. You'll always see the Maverick Multi-X, all 5 traders voting every single tick. And now the new staple on my charts has been the Maverick zones. I don't want to draw my zones anymore. Let this thing draw my zones. You know what I mean? It's awesome. And then give me probability scores of us holding or breaking as price gets closer. So pretty cool stuff. So listen, I'm going to leave this up. This thing's moving like molasses. If you want edge in the market, if you want clear charts, I mean, just clear charts, sell signal, buy signal. If you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. If you want to trade with 5 other traders, them casting their vote every single tick. If you want the ultimate trading assistant letting you know when you have no setup, a B setup, or an A+ setup, these things are game changers. Come check us out. Read what our traders are saying. So many of them are just absolutely crushing it right now. Unbelievable. Ultimate Edge bundle comes with 10 indicators in one bundle. Unbelievable. So if you want edge in the market, if you want clearer charts, come check us out. If you want to know what's actually going underneath the hood with the data, if you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. Come check us out. We would love, love, love to help you crush it this year with your trading. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Never any guarantees in any market. But man, these are some powerful, powerful tools, okay? I'll also put the link in the description to the Maverick Zones, which is exclusive to TradingView. All our indicators work on NinjaTrader and TradingView, but the Maverick Zones is exclusive to TradingView. And we give you actually a license when you sign up to the Ultimate Edge bundle to both NinjaTrader and TradingView for those 10 indicators in that bundle. And the Maverick Zones is just so much fun, so much fun. So I'll put both links in the description. If you're not a member yet, come check us out on MaverickIndicators.com. And if you are a member and you want to get the zones, we're still doing the launch price. It's going to be double the price after the launch is finalized. So we just launched this Friday. So we've been just having a ball with it. Look at the insight it's given us already. We could have closed this thing out for $600, actually over $600, but I'm just playing from zone to zone. I like the bigger swings. So anyway, if you want clear vision on your charts, we'd love to help you crush it. Come check us out. MaverickIndicators.com. That's MaverickIndicators.com.